Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jonathan Mathis. What's going on today? Happy Wednesday. We made it to the middle of the week. We have an NBA game on schedule tonight. It will be game 4 of the NBA Finals in Milwaukee. If Milwaukee wins tonight, they will tie the series. I might have a recap following tonight's game, but right now I want to talk about the NBA and the low ratings that we've seen so far. The TV ratings haven't looked pretty for the NBA. If you're an enterprise like the NBA, you want to see better ratings than what you have seen. Game 1 of the NBA Finals this year drew an average of 8.56 million viewers on ABC, according to reports. And then in Game 2, it drew 6.97 million viewers. That's the least watched NBA Finals game since 1974. So it's been a long time since we've seen ratings on decline like this. The game is not as entertaining as it used to be. Apparently, a lot of people are not intrigued. Maybe it's because it's the teams that's playing in the finals. You got two small market teams that a lot of people don't really care about. If it was the Lakers and the Celtics, it might have been a different outcome. More people might have actually turned on the tube to check out the game. They might have higher ratings than what they have gotten. But while the ratings are 13% up from last year's opener, last year's NBA Final, the 2021, the one that was in the bubble, this is still not what the NBA would like to see. They want to attract more fans. They want more people to watch their product. But viewership is down, and viewership was down 36% from Game 1 of the Warriors and the Raptors finals game in 2019. Why is there such a dramatic drop-off in basketball? For one, basketball is less physical than what it was growing up in the 90s. When I was growing up in the 90s, the refs actually let them play. They didn't blow the whistle. There wasn't too many game stoppages like we have in today's NBA. And sometimes you're sitting there watching a game and you become very frustrated because the damn officials are always blowing the whistles, right? And the refs are too inconsistent. They call these ticky-tack fouls that shouldn't be called. Just let these guys play. So now the game has become less physical. These players of this generation, they are soft. They're not loyal to their teams. That could be another reason. You see all these super teams being built, and part of that is because of the salary cap. We'll also get into that a little bit later. But a player can't really make eye contact with a ref without getting hit with a technical foul. Trash talking. It's not what it used to be in the game. I'm used to trash talking, intimidation, physicality, cheap shots, aggressiveness. We don't see that in today's game. A lot of these players are more passive now. They're less aggressive. It's just a different NBA than what it was in the 90s. And I think the fans have caught on. They see the lack of productivity from these players. They see all these super teams, that has been formed. And, that takes away from the game, Once before the game did have a salary cap, it was a salary cap instituted to level the playing field among all of the NBA teams, and to ensure competitive balance. And that's something that today's game lacks. It lacks competitive balance. a few years ago, all you saw in the NBA Finals were the Cavaliers and the Warriors. The Cavaliers and the Warriors. And it became so predictable. I mean, you already knew when the season started who was going to the NBA Finals. Like, you knew. You didn't have to guess. You didn't have to, you didn't have any second thoughts about it. You knew the two teams that would match up in the NBA Finals. It would be LeBron versus Steph Curry. And they hyped it up so much, that people really tuned in. Now they did get more ratings for those final series, but after a while it became boring, right? And you can say that the growth of the NBA's salary cap is why super teams get built nowadays. I mean, if you look at what happened with the $24 billion TV deal, I mean, that helped a lot of these teams form super teams. In 2015, the cap went up from 70 million to 94.1 million. So that's a huge jump, And what that did, that allowed these big market teams to build these super teams, leaving, teams like the Charlotte Hornets or teams like, what's another team out there that's in the small market? You guys know the Charlotte Hornets. Teams that people don't really care too much about, the Orlando Magic. I mean, these are all small market teams that don't get the same love that the big market teams get, and they're left in another room in the dark with not much of a chance to compete like the big market teams. You always see the Lakers, the Celtics, the Nets. There's certain teams that have more of a chance to win a championship than other teams because they're in big markets and they have the money to spend and they can sign players to max contracts. So I think that's why the NBA has become so pedestrian. I think that's why a lot of people have lost interest in basketball. It's not the same. Then you have players flopping all over the place. Players can actually win Academy Awards. They chose the wrong profession. They chose basketball and not becoming an actor, because they really put on a great show when they flop to the floor. And that right there could earn them that can for sure earn them an Academy Award. So, I mean, I think that's why the NBA has lost fans. It has lost its ratings, and why a lot of the fans just don't care anymore. They're not into it. And then it's the Bucks and the Suns playing in the finals. If it was the Lakers and the Celtics or the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets, damn right people would watch, right? Because that's a super team versus LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And I think that's what people wanted to see. They didn't, expect the Suns to get this deep into the playoffs, to let alone get into the finals, And the Bucks, all they really have is Giannis, on their roster, who's really good. That's not to take away anything from Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. But those guys are not really superstar players, And so these teams, even though they have great players and stars in the making, like you look at Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton on the Phoenix Suns, I mean, people want to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis, James Harden, guys that can put up a ton of points, guys that are well known around the league, because the NBA does a terrific job marketing and branding its players. That's one area they're good in. And that's what the fans wanted to see, not the Suns and the Bucks, And that's there's a meme going around right now. It's floating around the internet, and I can't remember what it said, but it was really funny. We wanted the Lakers and the Nets. Instead, we got the Suns and the Bucks, So it is what it is. But I watch all sports. I watch every final, NBA Finals, every World Series, every Super Bowl. I don't care what two teams are playing in it. I always tune in and watch because I love sports no matter what. So, but I think that's why the ratings are where they are today. Will they get any better? Sure, the NBA can see improvement. I think it starts with competitive balance. I think it also starts with officiating. And, you got to do a better job giving all these teams a chance to compete and putting superstars on every team. Once that happens, I think the NBA will have a better chance of doing greater things. Talk to you guys soon. You guys enjoy the game tonight. Peace.